Hi everyone, this is Tanya Ince. I'm a life coach and neurologist. Today I'm going to talk about the eclipse that we are going to have today. Depending on where you are, it's going to be at 3:18 p.m. Eastern Time. And then, so after this eclipse on July 2nd, we are going to have another eclipse, a lunar eclipse, on July 16 or 17, again, depending on where you are. So as we are entering this eclipse season, it's important to set intentions and to consciously go through it, because eclipses are portals, and these portals of energy open, and we receive insights, downloads, and we receive a cosmic push towards our life path. And that's why eclipses, especially solar eclipses, are related to huge changes in our life in the physical form. And lunar eclipses are connected to our inner world more. So I'm going to talk today about this solar eclipse that happens on July 2nd, and it happens on the new moon in Cancer. So what are those shifts that this eclipse is initiating and introducing into our life, right? So usually it's said that an eclipse has its effect for 6 months after the eclipse. So what we are starting right now, and the seeds that we are planting right now, are going to have this long-term effects in our life. And this eclipse season is extremely important because this is like our last push, and almost like a last chance to get into the right track before a huge astrological event is happening in January 2020 that many astrologers are talking about, where major planets are meeting in Capricorn, and that's when things are going to be built and put into a solid form. So right now we have a chance to readjust, and this readjustment is extremely important right now. So what does this eclipse represent? Let's look at the date. Let's look at this date of this eclipse. And it's amazing when we look at the date, because if you know numerology, or if you just know the basics of what each number represents, you could look at the numbers. July 2nd, 2019. If we add all these digits together, we will get 21, which is 3. So it's already a clue for us that the purpose of this eclipse is to connect with our emotions, to connect with what our passions are and interests are. And very simply, what do we want in our life? So it's time to ask yourself, what do I want and what do I need? What are my needs? This eclipse is happening in the sign of Cancer, and the sign of Cancer is connected to our home and family environment and those programs that we learned when we were little. It's also related to the different needs that we had as a child and maybe that were not met. So right now is the time to figure out what are those needs and actually start fulfilling those needs. We can address our childhood traumas and childhood needs when we are adults, and we can give the love that we were searching for, and we were hoping to get as we were kids and infants, and maybe we didn't get all that love. So now is the time to fulfill those needs, and to look carefully at what do I need, and then provide what you know you need and what you know would be beneficial for you through self-care, through exercise as well. So it's good to start these new routines that would be helpful for you. This whole month of July is a good time to start new patterns and start giving new meaning to self-care. So giving yourself that love and nurturing that you would expect from a parent, a loving parent. So we can be parents to ourselves and we can love ourselves. So that's one a very important aspect of this eclipse, to figure out what do I need and start making steps towards that. life that I want to have. We can plant those seeds, and those seeds are very powerful right now. So even if the whole plan uh, doesn't play out really quickly, planting the seeds will help us to come back to it, and specifically come back to it in the beginning of the next year, where everything is speeding up and we have this great alignment for um, quick manifestation of all our dreams. And that's actually in astrology is very obvious. So right now it's a big shift, probably the biggest shift in our life that we will experience. They're like giving birth. It's like giving birth, and actually this eclipse is related to family. And if you're planning to expand your family, now is a good time. If you're planning to change something in your family, how you relate to your children, or anything related to your children and your close family, um, it can go through this readjustment that will be healing and beneficial at the end. It's also a good time for making changes related to your home. So if you're buying a new house or moving or renovating something in your house, renovating an area, especially kids' room, that's a perfect symbol, because the sign of Cancer, where we have this new moon and solar eclipse today, it's all about nurturing, loving our kids, loving yourself and your inner child as well. So you can take your time today, if you can, to think about what you need in your life right now and how you can fulfill those deepest desires. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So number three that I talked about before is about listening to your emotions. So in our modern life, we are going through our day really in a fast pace, and sometimes we don't pay attention to our emotions and our emotional needs. And then at the end of the day, we just feel tired and maybe not really fulfilled. So now, today, and during this month of July is a good time to ask, what do I need to be happy? And writing down those dreams and needs, and writing them down, and just planting those seeds. And maybe you can start doing one step towards that goal. So if you would like to start a new routine, maybe you would like to walk for 15 minutes a day, or doing specific form of exercise, that's a good time for that. So think about what would bring you to a more authentic expression of who you are, and think about the highest possible, highest level of that expression. What would make you happy, and what would make you your world more comforting, nurturing, and fulfilling for you. So these are the questions, and so we are doing it together. And this eclipse is bringing this breakthrough towards being authentically who we are and who we are meant to be. And then we will have another lunar eclipse on the 16th, and that's going to be another eclipse, and it will keep this ball rolling. So the changes that we introduce right now will continue to develop for the next 6 months. So it's a good time to consider, what do I want in my life, and what do I want to start. And so if you need any help locating that eclipse in your life, I can look at your astrological chart and at your numerology as well, if you would like personal advice. So as I said, there are these important areas of taking care of your emotional needs, taking care of your inner child, giving yourself the love, all the love that you can, not only this month, but for the long term. What would you need? How would you need to be in life and relate to others? maybe you would need to think about boundaries and what boundaries are needed in your life. So which people are supportive of the changes that you're going through, and who is maybe not supportive, and then the opinion of those people shouldn't be that important then if they are not on the same path. Setting the right boundaries is also consistent with our self-care. And yeah, reading good books is good as well, and reading those books that are nurturing us, meditating, doing physical exercise. I already mentioned that. So that's a little bit about this eclipse, and I wish you all the best. See you later. Bye bye.